Okay, this class, I'd like to continue from some things I'd started with a couple of previous classes, and that is to look at one portion of the Yoga Sutras on what it means to practice yoga. So if I asked anybody what constitutes yoga practice, most people would probably have the idea of doing some kind of anasana, like downward dog. This is yoga in practice. But the Yoga Sutras basically say there's three things that constitute yoga in practice. And the first two I already went over in previous classes. The first one being acceptance of pain as help for purifying the mind. The second one is study of spiritual writings. And the third one, that's what I want to work on today, or just think about a little bit today, is surrender to the Supreme Being. So that one is an interesting one, surrender. If you just take the word Supreme Being, sometimes people have problems with that particular word if they don't believe in God, if they're atheists, or we might believe in God, but what does it mean to surrender? To surrender to the Supreme Being. And I think either one of those groups of people, whether you believe in a deity or don't believe in a deity, it's not about what you believe in. It's about the practice of surrendering. And to get a feel for what causes us to have a sense of surrender internally, I think it's helpful to look at one of the teachings of the Buddha. It's very pithy sayings in here in the Dhammapada. Just wonderful. This is from chapter 10 of the Dhammapada, the first verse. The Buddha says, all beings tremble before death. All fear death. When a person considers this, they do not kill or cause to kill. And any of us can, when we think about death, or when we're in the midst of somebody who has passed away, which I'm sure we all have been at some point, we know that feeling. We can intellectualize it, and it seems almost like a distant thing happening. But when it's right in your face, it's and you experiencing right then and there, we realize our own mortality. But it's not just death; it's also birth. Birth of life brings humongous change to our lives. It can also be any kind of huge life transition, any kind of huge change in our life. We tremble. We have some degree of anxiety or fear. And I think that's what this saying in the Yoga Sutras is about. What constitutes yoga? What constitutes yoga in practice? Is it this asana, able to stretch your arms or be really flexible or strong? Well, it could be that, but how do we integrate this idea of surrender into our practice? And that's what I'd like to begin to focus on today. All right. So let's start just by briefly warming up our bodies, right? And just maybe kind of rocking a little bit towards one knee and then the other. And one thing, as we're warming up our bodies a little bit, I want to maybe consider the attitude with which we come to yoga practice, right? If we come with the idea of surrender, what might that mean? What might that look like in this particular class, right? And just a couple of my own thoughts, my own ideas about what that might look like is kind of accepting ourselves as we are in whatever yoga posture we happen to be taking on in the moment. Giving up on striving to be something other than we are, or something that we are not at present. Right? Giving up the striving. All right, let's again continue to warm up, making some circles. If you like, we can make some circles with our torso. And just kind of feeling the hips, get a sense of the hips. We really, here's another place where yoga, getting into our body is a means to experiencing our mortality, the mortality of the body, that it's changing, it's not permanent, it's not going to last forever. And yet we have to take care of it. We've got to do our best to take care of it. And that's going to lead to the end of suffering. Right? Okay, and then feel free to change the direction of the circle when you're ready. Circle the opposite way. All right, getting into the body. We have aches, pains in our physical body. We might have feelings of anxiety. And at the root of anxiety is a fear of change, a fear of what the Buddha calls fear of death, or it could also be a fear of birth. Those two things are absolutely related. New life can be very scary. Or any transition, big life transitions, marriage, a new commitment, a new job, all of those things can create quite a bit of anxiety. Right. Okay. And then coming back to center, kind of getting a sense of our back, we can rock forward and backwards now, just rocking the body forwards. If you have your knees, if you could practice or work at making your knees a little bit wider, creating a little bit more space between your knees as you fold forward, you get a nice little stretch out of the hips. And just rocking forward and backwards a little bit. All right, so just kind of opening up our low back here and beginning to stretch the tops of our legs. All right, let's extend out one leg, bringing the other foot on the inside here, and just kind of lean towards that extended leg. Just kind of lean, and you might feel some pull there. See if you can work on making the back upright as you lean towards that leg. All right. You could even kind of turn your trunk towards the leg. So this is without putting any effort in. I'm just kind of looking, I'm facing forward. If I turn my trunk a little bit, facing the leg, creates a little bit of tension, but in the back, I need to use the core muscles to do that. But at the same time, I'm getting a good stretch of the back of the leg. Right? How far you bring your hands is, really secondary. You can even have them behind your back if you want. We want to feel that stretch in the back of the legs. All right. And just a little bit. We'll come back to that one. Let's do the other one. Just a light stretch, just to get us warmed up a little bit. All right. Same thing. You can even use your hand to kind of press against the outside of your extended leg to kind of turn your trunk towards the leg. All right. Extending the back up. And then extending the spine is really key here. When we get that, work on lengthening the back as we fold over that leg. Feel that stretch in the back. Okay, and just a little bit here. And let's come onto the hands and knees and go into cat-cow. Go into cat-cow. Just rocking a little bit here. And just pressing the heels of the hands into the mat and doing cat-cow. So again, continue to open up our back a little bit, stretch our core a little bit. All right, and then lifting the knees off the ground, walking the heels in place. And stretching the lower part of the legs, especially the calf muscles here. And you can pause, and you don't have to walk fast. You can It's kind of like a slow walk here. You just bend one knee and straighten the other and hold it there for several seconds before going on to the other leg. So you get a nice stretch, nice deep stretch out of that calf muscle. Really important as we get older to stretch the calf muscles out. I've found anyways. All right. Recently I got plantar fasciitis in the heel, and I realized, oh my goodness, I haven't been stretching my calf muscles enough. So again, really important to take care of those calf muscles, keep them stretched. And once I started stretching my calf muscles, the plantar fasciitis really healed up very quickly. I was amazed how quickly that happened. All right, and then let's walk the feet to the hands. And you can give a little stretch to the hamstrings here as well as you're walking forward. So maybe pause, bring one foot forward, one foot back, and just rock a little bit here, and then the other foot forward, and the first foot back again. Just a rock here a little bit, stretching the hamstring out, and then both feet forward, and come on up halfway. Again, another stretch to the backs of the legs, extending the spine out, and then standing, coming up to stand. All right. And just kind of soften the shoulders. Get the shoulders down a little bit. See if you can get a sense of how your body's feeling here. And we're going to do sun salutation. Traditionally, this practice of salutation to the sun was meant to practice that surrender to the Supreme Being. Right? The sun representing, of course, not the totality of the Supreme Being, but certainly a representative, because without it, there would be no life. And so during the sun salutation, you can bring to it an attitude of surrender, an attitude of, my life is totally dependent on you, right? That my life is totally dependent on this sun that's up there. Without it, I'm nothing. So let's, in that spirit, we bring our palms together, touching the heart, and then extending the hands out and up towards the sun and back to open the heart to the sun. And then folding in half, kind of a bow to the sun. This is a surrender piece. And then the left foot comes back. Left foot steps back. You can lower the knee if you want, or keep it raised. And get a little stretch to the sole of the foot here by rolling on the ball of the foot. Get a little stretch there. And then dig the heels of the hands into the ground as you slide the right foot back out, downward dog. Another expression of surrender here in downward dog. And then lower the knees, bend the elbows, and come forward and up. Stretch out the core muscles a little bit, and then return to downward dog. And then we reverse everything. We reverse everything here. Ready? Left foot comes forward when you're ready. And again, rocking on the ball of the foot helps to stretch out that sole a little bit. Right foot forward. Straighten the knees if possible, and then lengthen out the spine, lifting it halfway up. Take your time. If you need to hold on to something in the process, if you feel like a little bit unbalanced here, you can always hold on to something. Have a chair right next to you or something. And then standing. Coming to standing. Arms, we can bring the arms out to the sides here, out to the sides of the body to open up the rib cage as we lift the arms up towards the sun and back. Just opening up the shoulders, opening up the ribs, maybe looking up a little bit, and then ending with the hands in front of the heart. So it's almost like making a complete circle with the body in relation to the sun. All right, let's do number 2. Ready? We're reaching forward this time, reaching forward with the arms, and then up overhead, bending back a little bit. And then we can reach the arms out to the sides, opening up the ribs, opening up the shoulders, folding in half once the arms are about shoulder height. Gliding downwards, hands come down towards the toes or the shins. Right foot steps back this time. Right foot steps back. Let's lift the left hand up, just to give a little twist to the back here. We'll lift the left hand up and then back down. Dig those heels of the hands into the mat, turning the palms outwards a little bit as the head comes down between the arms. Right, drawing the heels down towards the floor. Maybe straightening the knees. You can also bend the knees here to release any tension in the low back. And then lower the knees. And come down. And straighten the legs. Lift the head, neck, shoulders up. A little stretch to the core. Squeeze the buttocks. And then back to downward dog when you're ready. Take your time here, this transition. I turn my shoulders outwards as I do this. And that helps to really, the muscles, and I'm isolating the shoulder muscles rather than the muscles in the arms. And then come into that downward dog. Right. So really externally rotating the shoulders, if that makes sense. All right, then from here, right foot steps forward. Just slide it, step it, or hop it forward. Take your time. If I'm going too fast, you can always take breaks, slow it down if you need to. And then left foot forward. All right. And bring the hands up to the shins and just extend the spine, making the back parallel to the ground here. Give your hams a little stretch. All right, and then coming up, arms. Let's bring the arms out to the sides to open up the rib cage. Opening up, and then overhead, opening up. Squeeze the buttocks, bending back, and hands in front of the heart. All right. All right, one more of those sun salutations. So salute to the sun. What constitutes yoga and practice? It's an attitude of surrender, or attitude of surrender to those forces that are much more powerful than us. Right? And we can key into that source of surrendering when we meet up with change in any form, whether it's death, whether it's birth, or some kind of life transition. All right, let's bring the arms out to the sides, opening up the ribs, realizing this dependence we have on forces greater than ourselves as the arms lift up and back, and then folding in half. Right, folding it, tuck the chin, dive forward, left foot back. You can bend the knees as much as you want here. Right, take your time, no hurry. The more important thing is that we bring this attitude of surrender into the practice. All right. Okay, digging in the heels of the hands, right foot steps back, downward dog. Okay. And then lowering the knees down, elbows bend, and come forward and up to downward dog. Left foot stepping forward. And right foot forward. Sweeping the head up, arms out to the sides, open the ribs, open the heart, and back. And palms in front of the heart. All right, and then just gonna bring our hands down here, coming into mountain pose. Take some time to soften the body, to breathe, find your breath for a few moments. You turn the palms just slightly outwards by externally rotating the shoulders. All right, get a sense of the flow of energy through the body, and unlocking the knees. All right, we'll do a strengthening yoga pose now. This is to really strengthen the muscles around the knees. So this is chair pose. So it doesn't require a lot of flexibility or balance, but it does develop the strength in our legs, just bending the knees as though we were preparing to sit in a chair, but just freezing ourselves there. Or our body itself becoming like a chair. All right, so you can feel those muscles in the thighs maybe at work. If you want to have some arm rests, you can put your arms out to make arm rests for the chair. All right. Just kind of working those thighs there. You can experiment with like kicking the tailbone back a little bit or keeping the back perpendicular to the floor, right? Or bending the knees a little bit more. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's come back up. Let's take a few breaths here, rest. Then stepping the right foot forward, left foot back for a triangle now. All right, we'll find triangle. Right toes pointing towards the top, left toes pointing towards the sides. We're reaching the arms out. And just kind of see if you can get your shoulders in the same plane as the hips. Shoulders are relaxed down from the ears. You might feel some pulling in your arms just to reach them out like this. And then we're just going to kind of bend the side of the body. Right? You can bring your hand down to your knee, or if it goes to the ankle or floor, that's fine too. Slide it down there, bending the sides of the body. One side is contracting, the other side is expanding. So take some breaths into that expansion, the expanding side of the body. All right, and then come back up when you're ready. Just focus on the low back muscles. Just keep them strong. All right, recenter, get the shoulders over the hips, shoulders away from the ears. And let's turn the toes the other direction. Turn the toes the other side. And same thing. One hand going down, the other up. All right. The head can be placed for optimal balance, whatever works for you. Stretching the side of the body. Okay, and then using those back muscles, especially the low back, to help you back up. All right. Okay, let's bring that body to face towards the left toes. We'll bend the left knee and slowly lower the hands down towards the mat, planting them down and stepping the left foot back for downward dog. Just pause here, downward dog, a few breaths. See if you can draw the head between the arms as much as possible. Let's drop the knees down then, bend the knees, bring it down, and sliding the hands up towards the top of the mat, and bringing those hands into the mat to practice here. And then you just kind of straighten out the knees, come on down to the elbows, and rest on our front side. This is the practice of supreme surrender. We're surrendering here as we rest our body in the abdominal resting pose, letting everything go here. Recognize there are forces greater than ourselves at work. All right. And then when you're ready, we can bring our feet together, toes pointed, hands underneath the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears, elbows digging into the side of the body, and then lifting up the head, neck, and shoulders. Just tucking the chin a little bit so we're not using the neck or over exerting in the neck or upper back. Right, but lifting up, using those muscles in the back to lift up our head, neck, and shoulders, strengthening the back muscles. Right. Take a few breaths here, and then go ahead and lower the head back down and rest. See if you can find some rest here. Take a few breaths. All right, let's try that again. Do the same thing. Hands underneath the shoulders, palms facing down, elbows tucked into the side of the body, lifting the head up, holding. Easy in the neck, but really using those middle back muscles to lift you up. Really relaxing the arms, letting the arm muscles be at ease. All right, okay, let's bring the chin to the mat, hands alongside the body. You could tuck the arms underneath the abdomen if you want to. Tuck the elbows underneath the abdomen, underneath the rib cage if you want to, or leave them out. Lifting up the right leg only and hold it up there. And then lowering the right leg, lifting the left leg up and holding. And back down, right leg up and hold. And back down, left leg up and hold. And back down. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and release the arms and roll over onto our back. Recenter on your mat when you're ready. And bring the knees into the ribs just to stretch out the back a little bit. Rock left and right. Yeah, go for it. Oh, yeah. Let me get that straightened out. Try to get nuts. What's that? Oh, okay. You know what to do? 3-finger swipe? Yeah. Yeah, sure. You're welcome to do that. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. It doesn't change anything as far as what people on the screen are seeing. Yeah. Okay, let's release one leg and extend it. So just bringing one knee in, extending the other. A little stretch there to the, giving a little pressure on the abdomen, and then releasing and reversing. So bending the extended leg, stretching the bent leg. All right, and then releasing that one, stretching the arms out overhead. Take some deep breaths here. All right, and go ahead and bring your arms over to your sides and rest. Bring the arms back to the sides and just resting for a few seconds here. Shavasana, corpse pose. This is the practice of surrender. This is really the practice of surrender. Just giving up, giving up. All right, let's reach the arms again overhead. We'll prepare to sit up. So what we're going to do is lock the thumbs, take a deep breath in and hold it, and then use your core muscles to lift, to peel your back up off the ground, coming on up to a seat. Or use your arms if you need to. Use your arms to help lift you up if you need to. Okay, and then here we're just going to focus on using the back muscles, right? Sitting upright by using the back muscles. Try to see if you can take the roundedness out of the back, and it just requires to use some of those muscles that don't get used because we sit in chairs so often. Right, so see if you can just use the back muscles to lift your back up, not depending on a chair back here. All right, and now let's bend the left knee and go ahead and let it drop down to the outside. We're going to come back to this pose we began at the beginning of class and just spend a little bit more time with it. So one thing to consider here is starting out by using your arms at your sides to kind of help you to turn your torso, your trunk towards that extended leg, and to right the foot so that it's pointing up towards the ceiling, right? And using the arms also to extend the back up. I want to get the back straight. And I notice in my own body, by straightening the back, I'm stretching the hamstrings in that right leg, just by not stretching, but lengthening the back. And then we continue. Once you feel like you've gotten a good stretch here, you can continue to press the head forward and even use your arms as a counterbalance, as a kind of a weight to bring your head down towards your knee. How much space there is between your knee and your head is up to you. It's up to you how much space you make there. The main thing we want to focus on is the stretch in the back of the leg. Right? The back should be totally comfortable, at ease here, even as it's coming forward. One thing that you can try is drawing your navel in and up into your rib cage. The navel comes back towards the spine and up towards the ribs. And that helps to create some space in the low back. You might find yourself going even further, the head having more space to come down towards the knee. Checking also the positioning of the head, tucking the chin a little bit can be helpful. All right, let's come back up. And reverse the legs. Same thing here. Use the arms to help you to kind of turn towards that extended leg and extend the spine up. And again, I've been doing this stretch for a couple of decades, and I can feel the hamstrings working, even just not even pressing my head towards my knee. I can feel the hamstrings getting a stretch here. And it just goes to show me how tight those hamstrings can get after just a day or two of not stretching them. All right, and then we just continue to bring the head forward, down towards the knee, maybe using the hands to help weight down the head. The back is not straining at all here. Again, check with the navel, drawing that in and up. See if that helps at all. Okay. And then sitting back up. Draw the feet together. I'll do a little hip opener. And catch the ankles and just slowly let the knees splay out to the sides, and you can adjust your feet, drawing them either away from your body or closer in towards your body, just to see how that affects the muscles around the hips. You can also use your ankles, like pull against them so as to draw the sternum forward. Right? And that can help to open up those hips a little bit more too. All right, and then we'll extend out the left leg, extending out the left leg, and another kind of the exterior part of the hip would just hug the knee in, and that'll give the hip and the right buttock a good stretch here just by hugging it in a little bit. But make sure to work on extending the spine up here. Because if you collapse, it's going to take the tension out of the buttock and hip. But if you extend up, it keeps that muscle stretching. It's amazing how tight our buttocks can get. And you can even begin to fold your body in half a little bit, gaining a stretch of the hamstring as well as the right hip, the external part of the right hip and buttock. Right, so the left leg hamstring gets a little stretch as you come forward, and the right hip and buttock gets a little stretch here. Keep the back upright. Okay, then from here, we'll just make the back perpendicular to the floor. Wrap the left arm around the knee, right hand behind us, and we're just going to focus on drawing that right shoulder to the back and twisting from the low back. Right, here's another place where you can draw the navel in and up to help twist. And the last thing that happened here is for the head to turn around towards the back of the room, or your back, whatever that is. Okay, and then back to center. Just take your time unwinding. And let's reverse it. Let's extend out that right leg now and bring the left knee in. Hug it in. Feel that stretch in the buttock, left buttock this time, as you hug it in, and slowly work on keeping the spine raised. You can also work at, just folding a little bit forward, or even rocking. I'm noticing here with this left leg anyways, it's a little rocking motion gets that hip opened, the outside of the left hip and the buttock. All right. And then placing that left foot down, wrapping the right arm around the knee, left hand behind you. So you can use the left arm for leverage here. As you plant it down, draw the navel in and turn. Use your leg for leverage. You can pull against it as you turn the back a little bit, and the shoulder, and then the. All right, and back to center when you're ready. Let's go back to center slowly. You can crisscross the ankles and sit up for a second. Just see where you are in your body, in your back, your legs. Just let things settle down for a second. Let the shoulders rest away from the ears. Let the legs soften a bit. Okay, then let's go into shoulder stand. Straighten out the legs. Straighten out the legs and use the core muscles to get ourselves down. You can always use your hands as well if you need to. And come onto our back and rest here on the back. All right, we'll just bring the hands down to the sides of the body, palms down here, preparation for shoulder stand. If you'd rather not do shoulder stand, that's fine. You can always do bridge pose. And bridge pose is where you bring the feet in towards the buttocks, pressing into them, lifting the low back up off the ground. That's bridge. If you like to do shoulder stand, you know what to do. Go ahead and go into it. If you need some instruction here, you can lift the legs over the head, press into the hands. Once you find some stability here, bring the hands to the low back. And then raise the legs up towards the ceiling. And hold there. See if you can find some ease here in shoulder stand. You can circle your feet around your ankles if you want. Going in either direction. All right, and then slowly lowering the feet over the head. Once again, see if you can keep the low back flat as you lower the feet over the head and lower the back down. Use your hands to help slowly lower your back down. without letting it flop forward. Use your arm muscles here to guide your back down, core muscles to slow it down, and then their core muscles to lower the legs down. All right, then come to rest. Let's take a few breaths here. Just rest your body. And we'll go right into Yoga Nidra, deep relaxation. So when you're ready, you can roll your legs a little bit, rock your legs left and right a few times, and then roll your arms side to side a few times, your head left and right a few times. Raise and lower your shoulders if you want. Okay. Then we'll just go through it, tightening all the muscles of our body simultaneously. All right, so we'll start by taking a deep breath in and holding. Squeeze the legs, the feet, the arms, make fists with the hands, lift the arms, legs, and head. And release. And let everything just begin to soften. We can do a scan of the body, starting with the feet. Disengaging the muscles around the feet. Disengaging the ankles, the calves, shins, the knees. Just letting all those muscles soften like jello. The muscles above the knees and the hips. The abdominal muscles. And the ribs, rib cage. Coming to awareness of the heart muscle. Maybe even just giving some gratitude to the heart. It's another place we can surrender. Is the heart muscle, just recognizing how it works without our efforts. It's a form of submission to or surrender to that power that's within us that gives life to us. And then letting go with the shoulders, the neck, the arms, surrendering, neck, shoulders, arms, legs, abdomen, all those things, just surrendering. The face, surrendering. Letting the muscles in the forehead soften. Allowing the eyes to rest. You can close the eyes if you wish. Now getting a sense of the full body from head to toe and allowing the whole body to simultaneously relax. Coming into a easy awareness of your breathing, just noticing the breath. And beginning to notice any thoughts or emotions arising, putting some distance between yourself and those thoughts, witnessing them, not being them or becoming them, not turning yourself into them, not identifying with thoughts or emotions, but simply witnessing. And lastly, submerging yourself into any sense of ease in your body, submerging yourself into any sense of ease in your body. All right, and then slowly we can begin to wiggle the toes, just beginning to wake up a little bit if you're ready to do that. If not, just ignore what I'm saying, and wiggling the fingers, waking them up a little bit, or rolling the legs and the arms. Right? Maybe lifting one arm up over the head just to stretch out the shoulder, and then back, and then the other arm, lifting that up over the shoulder, over the head, and then both arms over the shoulder, over the head, stretching out the body. Feel free then to roll. Feel free to roll to your side. Take a moment to experience that transition to your side from your back. Notice any internal changes. And then transitioning from your side to having a seat. And we just kind of straighten up our back when you're ready. You have your eyes half open if you like. Maybe placing your left hand on top of your right in your lap, your thumb tips just lightly touching. Just get a sense of how your body's feeling. Keying in on that word surrender, right? Surrender to the Supreme Being, what that might mean for you today or beyond this class, how that might feel, how you might integrate that into your life. And we'll close with a dedication. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. All right.